How are you guys doing today? Hope everybody is having a really super awesome sunny day today. If you're new to my channel, hi, my name is Gabe and this is Gabe Loves Makeup, and we are so glad to have you here. And when I say we, I mean you as it is in me. This is your channel as much as it is my channel. So, welcome, come on in. We welcome you with open arms, with a big old hug, to grab a drink, grab something, a little snack, to sit down, have a little chill time, because we're going to be talking about a foundation that is not new, but it is like new to me, or I think it is. I'm not sure if I've used it or not, but Risa does makeup. She absolutely loves this makeup, and I've kind of been watching her use it quite a few times in her videos, and she really enjoys this makeup. So I'm really curious to see if it's going to work for me, because she's a little bit more on the oilier side and then I'm more on the dry side. But this foundation is actually made for a dark skin type, but she really enjoys it, especially this time of year. So I'm really interested to dive into this foundation. So this is the Lingerie De Peau, and it's by Guerlain. And so, I am really excited to try this. So if you're interested and you want to find out what this foundation is going to look like, what my opinions are on it, have you been interested in it, then stick around and let's find out together. Hey everybody, I'm really super excited about this foundation. I can't wait to apply it, but we're going to go over just a little bit of information about it. This foundation, again, is not a new foundation. It's an older foundation. It's one that's been up for a while. I just watched Risa Does Makeup's channel, and I noticed that she really loves this foundation. She found it, and she's been really using it a lot. I think I've used it before in the past, but I don't remember. I've used a lot of Guerlain foundations, but I don't remember. I know they've discontinued a lot over the years, but, I'm an old timer, so I've been around the block a little bit, so I've used quite a few of them, but I might have used this one before, but I don't remember. But I'm really excited to try it again. But if you have never visited Risa's channel, make sure you go over. I will leave a link down below, because she's an amazing artist. She does a really beautiful job. She's beautiful on the outside, she's beautiful on the inside, so definitely go and check her out. I will also leave links and timestamps down below, so if you just want to skip this part and move on and go to the application or the final thoughts, you can. But anyway, I'm ready to dive into this. I got mine off the Neiman Marcus website, and this foundation is for $63. It has a 1 ounce, and it is made in France. It has an SPF 20 in it, which again, I never really pay attention to sunscreen. I just kind of focus it out, because I always wear my sunscreen separate. I will leave the ingredients and everything up here, as well as some information. Again, I've got most of my information I'm getting off the Sephora website, but you could also go on the Guerlain website as well. I could not find this foundation on the Guerlain website, which was very odd to me. And I actually had to go to the Neiman Marcus website, and I got mine from Neiman's because I couldn't find the shade. I wanted 4 Cool, and they didn't have 4 Cool, but Sephora advertised it, but they didn't have it. But they had 4N, but they were out of 4N, so I had to go that route. So it was a little bit of a wacky to get to it, but I did get the shade that I wanted, and I got it in the shade 4C. And this is what the bottle looks like, and it's the Lingerie De Peau, and it's by Guerlain. And then, of course, they have the Guerlain symbol on the top of it. The bottle is really beautiful. It's a glass bottle. It has a really beautiful pump on the top of it. It is very, very bougie, very Louis Vuitton / Dior-ish. I have this in the shade 4C, and then also just to give a little information about the product, that it is a light to medium coverage foundation that hydrates and smoothing ingredients, that enhances the skin with a natural second skin-like finish. It gives a medium coverage. It's a natural, this is a natural, though I think on the box this is like a normal to dry. Unique biofusion micro mist technology with visibly smooth and contours the skin. It has hydrating ingredients which provide comfort and a velvety soft texture. It blends effortlessly the skin for an airbrushed effect. This formula is exclusive biofusion micro mesh. It helps to provide comfort and up to 24-hour wear time. Primer. I haven't done any primer yet, so I've just got my skincare on. So I'm going to do the Guerlain L'Or. I'm pulling out an oldie but goodie one. I mean, this is back in the day, back in 2016, when everybody was using this one. But I love this primer. I don't pull it out very often, but I love it. It's so beautiful. It has like little microscopic little gold pearls in it, and it kind of like bursts on the skin when you put it on the skin, but it leaves a very good tacky feel on the skin. It's not, I mean, it was Guerlain. It's definitely not a cheap primer, but it is a really good primer. It does have a smell. So all of Guerlain's products do have a smell. So just to give you guys for FYI, because it's a French brand and Guerlain loves fragrance. So they put a lot of fragrance in their products. So just going to give you that. If you don't like fragrance, you're not going to like that. One side, I'm going to do that with my BK Beauty brush because it's one of my favorite foundation brushes. Then the 101, we're going to do that with it on one side. And then I'm going to do it with a damp beauty blender. This is my Sonia Koshak sponge, and we're going to do it on the other side. So we'll just kind of play with both of them and just kind of see what we feel. So anyway, so I'm going to take a pump or so of it. It's very, very liquidy. So it's got a very liquidy feel. And again, this is the shade for Cool. So I'm going to take a little bit, I'm going to dab my brush in off of my hand. I'm going to use my hand as a palette. And yeah, I mean, wow. I mean, it's supposed to be a 4C, but it's like, it's still like it's a little bit on the lighter side. So usually, and when I start getting more of a tan, which I am, my skin's already, like I've started already like self-tanning and stuff like that. And when I get it more and more in the sun, I do tend to go a little warmer. But I do like a cool foundation. So, I mean, because sometimes it just really matches my skin really good because I'm a Cherokee Indian. It just really, the cool just kind of blends in. But, I mean, it's like for it to be a 4. She's a little bit more on the lighter side. So, I mean, it's not bad at all. So, I mean, looking at it up close, I mean, it's definitely, I feel like I'm going to have to bronze it up if I do it over the summer because it'll definitely be too light. But looking at it, it looks beautiful. It looks really, really beautiful. And again, excuse the little, I got a little ingrown hair there. So she's kind of sitting there. You know how that works. But so just ignore that. But I mean, yeah, it's definitely, it looks really beautiful. It looks really smooth. It's going on very smooth, which is no surprise. But it's building it very nicely. It's built, you know, I can build it up a little bit. I'm dabbing it back into my hand. It looks very fresh. It's got a very fresh look to it. It doesn't look matte. It's not sitting in my pores at all. It looks really pretty. I mean, it looks like a really beautiful foundation. I'm not complaining about that at all. This is really pretty. So you can see this is what my skin looks like. And then this one, and believe it or not, again, I can't believe that this is the 4 and the intensity level. And the colors, the colors look okay. Again, I don't know what's going on with the foundation. I don't know if it's one that's just that it's got some dark colors, but it doesn't look like the color range looks okay. It doesn't look like the best. But that's you know, which is a little sad, but I mean, but it looks really beautiful. So far, so good. I mean, you know, really nice. So let's try it with, on this side, I'm going to do a little bit more on the back of my hand here. I'm going to take my sponge, and my sponge is a little damp, not too damp, but just a little. And I'm just going to tap it in here. I'm going to try to make this video not so long. This is a little bit more of an older foundation. I don't feel like we have to I don't know how many people are actually going to watch this video, but I was interested in the foundation. I don't know why I was interested in it, but the Guerlain foundation shade, for some reason, I did the same thing with the Essential. I felt like I got one way too light, and I felt like I was getting a little bit more of a darker shade, but wow, I'm really shocked on how light this to be a 4 is. I mean, now I feel like it's kind of somewhat, and in the lights, I know the lights kind of makes it look a little lighter too. In just a minute, I'll turn down the lights too so you guys can see what it looks like without having all the lights on it. You're not getting as much coverage with the sponge. With the brush, you get more coverage. So if you like a little bit more, I actually like the brush better than I do with the sponge. And usually I like the sponge a little bit more, but I'm liking the brush a little bit better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back in, and and it's going into my skin. So it's definitely absorbent. My skin is very dry. And, you know, and I put a lot of skincare on too before I put the, you know, because I knew that this was a little bit of a natural finish. I wasn't sure if it was going to be radiant enough or dewy enough because my skin just soaks up foundation. But it's definitely soaking it up. That's for sure. It'd be good to know how this kind of wears throughout the day. I'm sure that it's kind of a more of a natural foundation. So it says 24-hour, you know, kind of like a just the I think it's more of the hydration than it is the wear, because it's not really a long wear foundation, which I don't expect it to be, but it looks, I mean, you know, it looks really nice. What do you guys think? Let's turn the light down just a little bit so you guys can see just a little bit. So this is, you guys can see what it looks like without so many of the bright lights, but it looks really pretty. I'm going to zoom you in a little bit too so you can see it. Again, it's like, I feel like the coverage, because this is always my red spot right here. It's always harder to cover, but definitely, and it, I mean, when it wants to, this part is harder for anything to absorb into. I have to cover it up a little bit more, but this side is definitely, it looks really smooth. It went in really, really nice. It feels really good on the skin. It gives, I feel like it gives like a nice little bit of a glow to the skin. So I am really enjoying that. It reminded me a little bit of the, like around the effect of like the NARS Radiant and a little bit of like the Charlotte Tilbury. But the Charlotte Tilbury is just a little bit more, it's got more of a tack to it. This feels a little bit like the NARS Radiant. It kind of feels like that, with a little bit more of a smell. It's got more of the smell. But it feels kind of like that skincare type of a makeup, even though I know it doesn't say anything about that, but it does have a little bit more of that natural radiant type look to it. Let me know down below what you think. Like, you know, also, you know, have you used this, or have you been using it? Have you ever tried it before? Because it looks really, really pretty. I'm going to go off camera real quick. I'm going to just do a real quick, I've got to do another video real fast with the new concealer that we're trying out. So I will be back, and then we will kind of give our final thoughts then and see what we think about the foundation. So this is me with a finished look. I just did some powder, did some bronzer. We finished out another video earlier, so I just wanted to come back on here. I'm really digging this Lady Gaga. It's the Haas Laboratories. This is the shade Maraschino. It's I seen it on Instagram, and I just really think it's just a beautiful lip gloss color. It's so pretty. Look at this, how pretty it is. That is just such a beautiful shade. It's so pretty. And then there's a little bit of this Spritz 2D gel blush over it. Look at the pigment in this. Isn't it beautiful? Look how pretty that is. And together, they just look so good together. I just think it looks really beautiful. Everything went over really, really well. The powder went over it well. The bronzer went over it really well. The concealer, everything went over it really, really well. It set really beautifully. It looks gorgeous on the skin. It went great over the primer. I really think it feels very, very good on the skin, even with setting it with a little bit of spray, but it just feels amazing. It feels very lightweight. It doesn't feel heavy at all. I have to say, I'm really enjoying this foundation. I'm really going to like this a lot. I want to say that I've used it before, but I don't know if I have or not, but I feel like I have, but I just love the finish of it. I think it looks absolutely stunning. If you're dry, I definitely recommend it for you. I think you would really enjoy it. If you're normal, I think you would enjoy it. I think if you're combo, I think you would enjoy it. If you're oily, I don't know. It might be too natural of a finish, maybe a little bit too of the radiance in it, but you might give it a shot and give it a try. Again, it's like, it's really hard because you can't really, it's not in store unless you're maybe in a really super big Sephora, because they don't, most of the time they don't have Guerlain in the store. You have to actually get it off of online, or you have to, most of Neiman's and Nordstrom's and a lot of them don't carry it anymore. It's only online, so it's a little bit more difficult to actually check and play with and stuff in store. But if you have a Sephora with a Guerlain in it, or if you have a Guerlain counter near you, then definitely give it a check out and see what you think of it. Again, I got mine off of the Neiman site. It's actually on Sephora. Again, I didn't see it on the Guerlain site, but it is just a beautiful foundation. I'm really enjoying it. It's very pretty. And again, I appreciate Risa so much because it looks really good. So with that said, guys, I mean, I knew I was going to probably end up loving this foundation. I just knew it. I knew I was going to end up loving it because I really trust her judgment. And not only that, but I just love Guerlain foundations. I love the L'Essential. I just never really purchased it again. I didn't really use that one as much. I actually like this one better than L'Essential. I thought the L'Essential was a little bit more thicker. I feel like this one's more thinner. It's a little bit more me. I will keep you guys up to date and let you know how it wears. Thank you so much for being here today. I really do appreciate it. You know, be safe, be strong, be proud, stand tall. Remember to love yourself and remember to reach out and tell somebody that you love them today because life is way too short. And also, you know, just make sure that you're a little kind to somebody because a little kindness can go off a long way. And with that said, guys, thank you so much and have a good rest of your day. And we will see you again in the next episode. Bye.